before you go on any trips away this year, you absolutely need to get this app. I travel all the time, and multiple times, me and the lads have been stung with massive phone bills. You think you're texting on the hotel Wi-Fi, before you know it, you get the phone bill. What was I doing? And it's not just that. Just getting signal when you're away is an absolute nightmare. And this is why I use Saily for just the price of a coffee. Saily will keep you connected wherever you are, so you don't have to hop from hotel Wi-Fi to restaurant Wi-Fi. You're literally going to have the best connection no matter where you are. And it's cheap, so you're not going to get that big phone bill. Honestly, it's a no-brainer. All you have to do is click the link in the description below, install your eSIM, and when you land, boom, you're in business. And every time I've used it, I've had a better connection in the hotel Wi-Fi. I can watch live streams. I can download movies. It's brilliant. When I went to Vegas, this was an absolute lifesaver. And the best bit is there's a 15% discount when you use my link in the description below. Even if you're not traveling till later in the year, I know you might forget. So do it now because this will come in handy. Just go to saily.com/kickoff and you can get 15% off. Do it now. Don't wait until you land and then you regret not doing it in advance because this is a game changer. As many of you know, I've been banging on about Nick Woltemade and the problems Newcastle have with him all season. And if you're sick of hearing about it, I'm sick of talking about it. But this needs to be addressed now after last night. Because the things I've been saying are being proven so true, it's actually unbelievable now. We've seen the level of quality he had for Stuttgart. You're scoring 2 goals in every 3 games, right? He was outrageously good. For both Stuttgart and Germany, playing on the last shoulder as the 9, being a poacher in the penalty area, an elite 6'7" finisher. Even when he came to Newcastle, scoring goals immediately because even though we weren't creating any chances, he was playing in that role. And the second he hit a rocky patch, Eddie's belief and faith in Nick Woltemade crumbled. You look at Ekitike and the patches he's gotten through, which has gone unspoken about. He's had some terrible games this season, but Liverpool keep the faith because they understand the long game of he's a young striker, new league. You have to get through these games and eventually he'll come good. Eddie Howe's just, dropped them into midfield and not even playing him as a striker anymore, Woltemade. He's got a winger up front. And a lot of people go, well, he wants to drop deep anyway. This is something that Eddie Howe has specifically told Nick Woltemade to do early this season. They've both communicated that to the press. You look at Woltemade for Stuttgart, for Germany, that's not how he plays. Yeah, he'll drop in at times, but look at every single goal he scored. I've said it a million times before. He's always as the poacher, aside from like one goal where he dribbled from the halfway line. And I've been saying we're killing it. We're ruining a talent and he's going to have to leave. There was a report that came out before yesterday's game against Carabag in the Champions League that said Nick Woltemade is not happy. He wants to go. And it's like, well, no shit, Sherlock. And I know a lot of Newcastle fans, we love the club. We want to believe, why would anyone want to leave Newcastle? It's a great club. Yeah, I get that as well. And he's only just got here, so that would be, a big thing. That's unlikely. It doesn't sound like a normal thing to happen. Do you know what else isn't a normal thing to happen? To be one of the most promising strikers in Europe, to have been linked with Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. You're the starting number 9 for Germany. You move to Newcastle with the idea that they're going to develop you into their next number 9. And the second you go through a bad patch, they drop you into midfield and they never give you a chance to play up front again. He didn't come to Newcastle because of the heritage, because we're the biggest trophy winners. He came because he wanted to evolve as a player, and it was a good route into doing that. No doubt before one day he plays for a Bayern Munich or a Real Madrid or whoever. We're not even playing him as a striker. We're completely degrading him as a talent. Even for ourselves, his valuation, like we signed him as a goal scorer and his valuation is going down by the day. If I was watching a winger who's got 1 goal in 13 fucking months in the Premier League from open play ahead of me as a striker, when I was signed believing on the dotted line that I was going to be your main man, you're damn right I wouldn't be fucking happy. And a lot of Newcastle fans are probably pissed off at me for acknowledging this elephant in the room right now, as if I'm inventing things out of thin air. This game proved I'm not. And it's a shame. It's a real shame because what a fucking win. And I want to acknowledge this. Like, I was sat there, happy as fucking Larry, having me drink, banging goals in for fun against this lot. I dreamt of this as a kid. Champions League football. And it's not the Champions League that I grew up with, where it was like the 1 or 2 top teams would be in there. But fuck it. It's lovely. Now, I'll acknowledge the truth, because I always do that, even if we do win fucking amazingly. We were playing literal farmers. I think they're the 26th ranked league in Europe. We should be fucking battering them. We dealt with them just like Liverpool dealt with them. Apparently their average wage is a few grand a week. Like, actually farmers make more money. And fair fucks to that lot, they've done really well, the Carabag in the Champions League. They've had a fucking go. But it was lovely to see us having a right go, taking it seriously and battering them. Which is why it's so mental that tensions rose in the way it did in a game where we're not under the cosh, we're not under any pressure. We're a fucking pub team, we're loving it. We're having the best time ever. Why would there be any need for anger within our team? And a lot of people are going to want to sweep this under the rug and pretend that because they all kissed and made up at the end that everything's fine. Everything's not fine. You don't get that angry in the middle of a 5-0. It was 5-0 when we were seeing them get angry at each other. That doesn't happen for no reason, and Newcastle are very good at sweeping. I hear lots of things. I don't say a lot. People think I'm out to damage the club. I hear a lot more than I let on. And I always keep my mouth shut because I don't want to damage this football club and I want the best for them. And when I hear things that are happening at that football club where the messaging outwardly is one thing and the reality inside the club is a completely different story, I never say it publicly because I genuinely fucking care. Despite what a lot of people think, because I'm critical of tactics and what I say on the pitch, I always try and keep shit to myself. But this spilled out on the football pitch now, and it's very obvious that this is a big deal. Andy Gordon gets a penalty against Carabag. He'd already had a penalty. He'd already scored 2. He'd actually missed 2 fucking sitters as well, which, fuck me, could have had 10 goals or whatever, man. This was the ultimate stat padding of a game you've ever seen in your life. And good for him, by the way. I've got nothing against you. Fucking stat pad all you want, son. But there was a moment before he took his second penalty where Nick Woltemade comes up to him and has a word. You see him having a word like, look, mate, do you think I could get in on the action? I'm stuck in fucking midfield back here. I'm judged on me goals. I'm supposed to be the striker. I'm doing a job for the club, passing it around sideways, fucking around like Sean Longstaff over here, when I'm supposed to be the main man, the position that you're in, and everyone's going to be looking at my numbers at the end of the season. No chaps, every fucking striker. Where's the fucking goals? And no one's going to give a shit that I did this for the team that I sacrificed. Anthony Gordon didn't even give him the time of day. Fuck off. Fuck off. Kieran Trippier comes up to him. Mate, as the captain, come on, man. He's not having a good time of it here, right? And we'll get into deeper levels on this. But clearly, Kieran Trippier felt the need to interfere and go, you need to fucking look after him here because he's looking after us in midfield. Come on. He's supposed to be doing your job. He was signed for the glory. Give him a taste of it. Andy Gordon didn't even look at Kieran Trippier. Didn't even give him the respect to even acknowledge the question. No fucking way. I don't give 2 shits, mate, about this guy. I'm in it for my glory, yeah. On the one hand, if you are like Cristiano Ronaldo, you expect it, right? You're a numbers guy. This is what you're all about. And we've all seen that swagger and that. Loads of Newcastle fans have commented. He walks around like he's fucking Cristiano, right? We've seen that from him. And if your numbers are there, fair fucked, mate. You fucking walk around like you got the biggest stick in town. But when you've got 1 goal in open play in 13 fucking months in the Premier League, doesn't really feel like it's best placed. And it was very main character syndrome, and I think he's desperate for goals because he knows his numbers in the Premier League have been pathetic in the last 13 months. And this is a way he can get those numbers up again. Look at the teams we've been playing. Come on, man. We get what we're doing here, right? Before this game, he had 3 tap-ins and 3 penalties, right? Literally the easiest goals he's ever scored in his whole fucking career. In this one game, scored 4. It couldn't have been any easier. And again, I don't begrudge that. But it does add up to other problems we've seen earlier this season where I've watched games where I thought you don't want to pass to Nick Woltemade. I thought you had him in a better position and you want to go your own, you want to go the harder road to try and have a shot that probably won't even go in than play him through. And I think that there is a main character syndrome issue here where after Isak left, and we all seen a bit of this, and I've seen loads of Newcastle fans acknowledge this, so this isn't my fucking head alone. He wanted to be the main man. And Woltemade came in and started scoring immediately. And I think he was like, nah, this is my time. I'm the main man now. And yeah, I think maybe I walked that back in my head when he crossed it in for Woltemade against Chelsea, but then I was like, well, he was just crossing it into an area. He wasn't actually crossing it directly to Nick himself personally. Like, there's been so many opportunities where he's deliberately avoided passing to him, and he's not the only one. You know, we've got a lot of, like, Barnes is a bit personal glory winger as well. It's very hard for a striker to thrive when your wingers are really wanting the glory for themselves. But I accept that it's healthy to have a dash of that. But in this scenario, I think Kieran Trippier wasn't interfering for no reason. And this is where it comes back to the truth about how Woltemade is feeling at Newcastle, how happy he is. Earlier in the day when that report came out, so many people rubbished it. So many people said, nah. But for Kieran Trippier to walk up to Gordon after he's already rejected Woltemade and go, come on, man. He wouldn't do that for no reason. He wouldn't do that if he thought everything was fine and Nick Woltemade was fine. And he wouldn't then try and press the issue, in my opinion. Kieran Trippier is a leader, and he's he's thinking not just about, we're winning 5-0, let's get another goal. He's thinking about, all right, what is the mental well-being of our players on the pitch right now? And if one of those players is clearly not good, I'm going to try and make him feel good. I'm going to try and help the situation and think of the bigger picture for the entire side. That's the way Trippier is mentally made. That's why he's been an insane leader for us in the last few years. And let's be real, Anthony Gordon didn't give two shits about that. And you can say that's fair enough. You can say you can criticize him for it, whatever. But what no one can deny, if they're being truthful and they're not trying to just patch this up and be a Newcastle PR merchant, is the reaction from Nick Woltemade to the second penalty going in. Here's Woltemade celebrating the first penalty that Anthony Gordon took, right? He's engaging with him. Everything's hunky-dory, no issues. So he starts walking over to him after the second penalty. And, I mean, you can see... He's not thrilled, like, is he? He pats Malik on the back, pats Alanga on the back, and he pats Anthony Gordon on the back. But he's so gutted. His head's down. He's fucking miserable. And if you want to deny this and you're just like, it's all in your head, Jordy, fucking go and watch it yourself again. Because I can't show the actual footage, obviously. He's devastated. Now, do you think the only reason he's that miserable and gutted is because of one penalty that he didn't get to take? There's no way that you have that reaction to a teammate's goal on the pitch when you're completely fine at the club. It's just obvious. And I've been onto this for fucking ages. Like, it's just common sense and logic, to be honest with you. But he's showing it now. Physically, emotionally. How often do you see players congratulate other players like that level of gutted? It just doesn't happen. And it's not because of one penalty, is it? It's because of the whole entire situation that was compounded in that moment when Gordon went, nah, fuck off, mate. And it's just like, God, I don't even like, even when you get two penalties, I don't even get one. Fuck, mate, I never get a shot. I'm stuck in fucking midfield. My career's gone to fucking shit here. I was signed to be the fucking main man. What the fuck is going on? And ironically, that's why I said he should have been on penalties from the get-go this season, because as strikers, the more goals they score, the more goals they're going to get. He had his nuts cut off from early on with Anthony Gordon. From very early on. But this is far deeper than a penalty. And as Newcastle fans, we can't bury our heads in the sand and ignore what's right in front of our faces any longer, when it's not just Woltemade reacting to this. It's also with Captain Kieran Trippier. That makes this impossible to sweep under the rug and pretend like this isn't happening. La la la. No fucking way, man. This is in broad daylight. He's a 6'7" elite finisher who came here to score goals, and now he's doing fucking sideways passes in midfield. His whole reputation, the whole image that he had in Germany as the next number 9, it's being destroyed. Of course he's fucking miserable. Because think about it. If you know within a few months, right, you're going to hit a little rocky patch. Eddie Howe's going to drop you. He's going to play Wissa. Wissa's going to stink the joint now. He's then not even going to let you back in. He's going to play Anthony Gordon ahead of you, 1 goal 30 in fucking months in the Premier League. You're not even going to be playing a striker. Do you think he would have fucking signed for Newcastle? Would he? Fuck. He'd have held out and been an understudy to Harry Kane at Bayern Munich. Because at least then, if I'm not playing, I'm learning from one of the best strikers in the world, and there's a fair justification as to why I'm not starting. He did not sign for Newcastle to come be some fucking centre midfielder. Not when he's trying to become the number 9 for Germany in the next World Cup. That makes no sense whatsoever. So no one can convince me otherwise. And it's funny because people will defend Eddie Howe in the dropping of Woltemade and the way he's treated him, and that's up to you. But I remember Alan Shearer telling a story about Euro 96 and how he went through a barren period. And Terry Venables, the manager of England at the time, said to him, look, mate, I'm backing you. You're my number 9. You're going to play no matter what. You have this shirt. Give him that confidence. Give him that feeling of, right, I don't have to panic when I'm getting the ball now. I don't have to worry about, will I score, won't I score? And it brought the best out in him. Do you think that's what Eddie Howe's done with Nick Woltemade? Because I think Eddie's bottled it at the first fucking hurdle. The first second Woltemade had any sort of rough patch, he was out. And ironically, that came in a game against Manchester United where we did nothing but lump ridiculous shit crosses in, and he was completely disjointed. And again, I've been over this. We didn't play anywhere near to the strengths of Nick Woltemade against one of the worst Man United sides in recorded fucking history. And that was the grounds for dropping him for Wissa. And then Wissa gets the easy games against the Burnley and the games that we would have created more chances. And it's never recovered since. And now he's a fucking midfielder. And even if we do back Eddie, even if you do you really think 60 odd million for a player who's not a fucking midfielder playing in midfield is like a good bit of business to it? And I know we've just won, but I'm talking about the long term here. This shit needs addressed, because if Eddie's just saying, right, I want runners up front, that's my whole thing, right? Runners. It always has been. He's allergic to technical footballers. Why did you sign him then? Because he's obviously a technical footballer. He's not a fucking runner. Why has no journalist put it on him to justify why you signed him when you're not even playing him in his rightful position? It makes no sense. And no wonder the lad's like, fuck me, what am I doing here? Because I've not seen a player that sad on a football pitch in fucking years. And people will act like I'm overreacting. Go and watch the fucking video. He was gutted. And I'm not going to hear any different. And I know Nick afterwards and the team afterwards will come up and be like, everything's fine, because that's what they do. And they're fucking great at that. Like I say, I hear a lot. But that raw reaction right after the goal, you can't hide that. That's the real, that's the truth coming out of fuck. This is it. This is it now. This is where I'm at. And I've got to give massive credit to Kieran Trippier for seeing that, thinking about that in this scenario, and understanding we need to help this kid out a bit. We need to lift him. And by Trippier doing that and acknowledging, it just proves that he's aware. We're aware of what's going on within the side here and what's happening to this kid. Because if there was no problem, Trippier would not have gone up and said anything. They know why this lad was brought here. He was brought here for the glory moments like that. And he knows he's not getting any. And he's not going to get any because of what we've done to him. Barely in the final fucking third, man. He used to be on the last shoulder in the penalty box. Imagine Man United doing this to Seshko or Ekatike getting this done to him at fucking Liverpool, playing next to Sobozai in the fucking middle of the park. Sideways passes to Gravenberch. It wouldn't fucking happen, man. He's not an 8. He's not a 6. He's not a 10. He's a fucking striker. Is he the classic 9? Maybe he's a 9.5. He's a striker. That's the end of story. That's what we signed him for. Eddie himself said it. We can't change fucking history. Eddie said he was bought to be the number 9, the main man. But because Eddie is one-dimensional in how he wants to press, how he wants to attack, and the build-up play, it isn't intricate passing. It's let's try and catch them out on the break. Let's try and catch them high up the field with a high press. He hasn't got the style for him. In which case, Eddie deserves some criticism for signing a player for this amount of money without a fucking clue how to play to his strengths. Because I don't know about any other Newcastle fans, but we've already blown a fuckload of money on Wissa, Alanga and Ramsey, which is yet to be proven to be smart money. I'm not saying that they haven't shown flashes. They've all shown flashes. None of them have gone, yeah, I'm worth the money yet. And I think Woltemade was up there as the better of that lot outside of Malik Chow, who's really delivered. But because we're not playing him properly and we're not playing him with strengths, he's never going to realise his potential. Never. And the fact that he's sacrificing his game for the team deserves a lot more credit than it's being given, because he's clearly not wanting to, and yet he's doing it anyway. Something that, ironically, Anthony Gordon has basically refused to do for Newcastle. He said, I'm not playing right side. We can dress it up however much we want to because we want to pretend like everything's fine. Eddie Howe said Harvey Barnes was more open to it, meaning he shut it down. I won't even play on the right because I'm not getting a place in the England side there. He's thinking about his international football. What about Woltemade's leading striker for Germany? No one gives a fuck at the club. And clearly Kieran Trippier gave a fuck enough to have a word with Anthony Gordon over what he deemed to be selfishness. There's Gordon there giving it some. Alanga runs over at Anthony Gordon to get a hold of him. Dan Burns trying to kind of hold Trippier back. As Trippier's like, now I'm fucking having a fucking word. Yeah, fuck this shit. Trippier is shouting at him, pointing his finger, saying, you fucking bang out of order. And Alanga's trying to drag Gordon away as Byrne gets in the middle of them. Best bodyguard ever, by the way. Shout out Dan Byrne. And I know I'm going to get flack for this video because it was such a great win and people are going to be like, oh, you're being negative. Why are you bothered? Why are you bothered? I'm bothered, just to be clear, because they were bothered. Why were they getting angry at 5-0? Why were they having a bust up at 5-0? I'm not being negative. I'm reflecting what was fucking happening on the pitch, man. It's mental. When was the last time we've seen players like that at 5-0? It doesn't happen ever. And I just respect Kieran Trippier for having empathy for his teammate and understanding this has gotten really shit for you, isn't it, mate? And as much as we don't want this to be true, and some people might bury their head in the sand and be like, no, Nick Woltemade's fine. He's absolutely fine. It was right there in front of all of our faces. And I think that this game in particular was a pivotal moment in his time at Newcastle that confirmed he has to go. I was thinking at Spurs, mate, we got all this space. You know, this is a fucking shit side we're playing here. Get him up front, give him those runs off of him from Ramsey and Willock. We can do some damage with him. He was never even thought about. He got the junk minutes in the last 3 minutes, for fuck's sake. 60-odd million were paid for him. Carabag, literal fucking Sunday League farmer types. Perfect to get your confidence, to play up front, give him loads of opportunities. Eddie never even considered it. Even when Woltemade was the only striker on the pitch because Anthony Gordon had been taken off. Other players had been subbed off. Asula came on, the young Neve came on. Woltemade was never played up front in that game. He's not even acknowledging that he's a fucking striker anymore. That's the end, that. That's it. It's done. And because Anthony Gordon banged all those goals against Carabag, it's all's well that ends well. Yeah, he is the striker, but that's it. Anthony Gordon's the future of Newcastle up front. That's the way it's going to be, is it? We're going to ignore the the years of data and just say, right, you're the striker now. And fuck the fact that we spent 130 million on these two lads who can't get a game. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. It's not Eddie Howe's fault. Whatever happens, there's one thing I've realised from everyone in the media and all the fan base, it's not Eddie Howe's fault that we've done that. That's for damn sure. And I'm not trying to be a prick. It's just like, this is a problem, this. It's great that we won that game. Fucking great. But it's not great when you're seeing this going on in the side. So unfortunately, I think it would be best for Newcastle and Nick if they parted ways in the summer, because in order for a player, a technical striker like Woltemade to reach his full potential, he has to get as far away from Eddie ball as humanly possible, because he is never going to play that way. And Eddie in the Spurs game, in the Carabag game, delivered an absolute vote of no confidence in Nick Woltemade, and he knows it. It was written all over his face. You don't rate me as a striker. Otherwise, if we're playing these fucking farmers, you'd be playing me up front. And you clearly rate Anthony Gordon ahead of me as a striker. And other people do as well. And look, in the long run, we'll find out who is the better striker out of Woltemade and Gordon. But while Woltemade is stuck at Newcastle, it'll always look like it's Gordon, because Woltemade is going to be fucking around in midfield and never getting a consistent run up front. Unless we sell Gordon later. But let's be real here. Then Nick Woltemade is going to be like, well, you've killed me confidence now. What, you're going to play me now that the main man's left? That's not going to make him feel great. I was bought to be the main man. So yeah, I think that this is the end of the road. And I think Eddie has made it abundantly clear that he does not rate Nick Woltemade anywhere near as highly as what I do and many other people who think he's got the ability to lead the line for Newcastle. And that's fine. But what you can't do is have a 60-odd million player like with his quality sitting in the fucking midfield or on the bench. Just get rid of him and let him go and fulfill that potential somewhere else, because there can be no debate now, man. Asula has played as the striker in games with Nick Woltemade, 2 games running now. Like, he's done. It's over. But I think that's the last I've got to say about the Woltemade situation, because it's over now. Our chance of making him the player he could have been is gone, and Eddie's made that decision. And I look at teams like Chelsea who play with those players in and around the striker with that supportive system, like Man United even. He would have been great there. And unfortunately, he's fucked it coming to Newcastle. And look, I hope I'm proved wrong. I hope Eddie does a massive U-turn and all of a sudden he's playing Woltemade and he's looking at what happened at Stuttgart in Germany and how can we replicate that, and does a complete 180. I don't see it happening. There's a lot of people sitting after these games saying Newcastle playing a 4-2-3-1 and all of this nonsense. We play 4-3-3, man. He was playing as part of a 3-man midfield. He wasn't in number 10. We're not changing anything for Nick Woltemade. I'll be stunned if that happens. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I think I've exercised the demons on this one. I've been saying it all season with the Nick Woltemade situation. It's finally spilled over. We finally see the reality. And it's as good as the end of the road, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, because I love watching Nick play, and I think he'd be a great striker for us, but this is it.